Hello and welcome to Enchanted Chatter. As you can see, it is myself, Courtney, and Bree. Yes, Chelsea. Bree is not here today. She is off this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week. We'll see. But we tapped in our good friend Chelsea to dissect this week's meta with me. How's your week been?
It's been good.
You abandoned me yesterday at League. I'm not bitter about it at all.
I had to work late.
I know. That's fair.
End of month is a joyful time.
Yeah, I guess that's like a real thing. I suppose that's something that...
I did get bricked when I played games at home with my deck, so...
That's karma. This is our friend Chelsea. Bree is out this week, so Chelsea is helping me out. So I'm not talking to myself because that's terrifying. The one time I did pack opening by myself on stream was entertaining. I'm afraid to ever watch it back because...
Are you talking to yourself?
Yes, chat was talking with me too, but it feels... I'm impressed how like JDZ does it all by himself, and like it's a skill that is definitely honed.
When I've done it just streaming by myself playing video games, it's very odd because you have to keep with the commentary.
So basically, all that to say, I'm very happy that you're here tonight, or people would just be dealing with me, and everybody would rather not.
I like dealing with you.
Thanks. That's nice. This weekend there were roughly 100 events. Just kidding. There were like 8, which is wild because I was thinking back to like the start of this year.
It was hard trying to just find 1 or 2
yes!
within the same month.
So I am very happy. I know with Fabled and even with like the Fabled meta, I feel like a lot of people have been down on Lorcana and worried like about the health of the game. And I feel like this weekend really clearly showed that the game is healthy and people are playing. And I think it's in a better place than a lot of people think.
I think the issue was rotation and people not thinking any deck would be viable.
Yes.
And now that people are getting more decks and figuring out the meta, it's been a lot more. I've seen people engage more than they were before the start of Fable.
Yeah, I agree with that. Should we dive in?
Let's go for it.
Okay. I made this really pretty analysis. I'm very proud of myself for this, so everybody better be nice. That's it. Oh, there we go. So the first event we're going to go over is the Nexus Lone Star events. So it was a total of 2 tournaments, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. Pricing for both were $5K. So not bad.
That's nice.
It was down in Waco, Texas, so just a little south of the DFW area. So lots of local players from our area went. I did not. I chose to be lazy this weekend, even though a bunch of our friends went down to it. Chelsea, were you working this weekend?
I did work.
That's what I figured. But the event, like Saturday's event, was, I think, really interesting. The meta for the event was a little all over the place. Looking at it, I feel like looking at this picture, we saw 34% of the decks were Sapphire Amethyst, so Blurple, which I think is obviously very, very much what we expect. Mm-hmm. Like the breakdown itself here for like the top decks definitely feels standard, but the top 8 was kind of all over the place. There were 3 Amethyst Sapphire, 1 Amber Emerald, 1 Amber Steel, 1 Amethyst Steel, 1 Emerald Sapphire, and 1 Ruby Amethyst. And the person playing Ruby Amethyst was a local player. He goes by Capu. And he made he finished top 8 last year at a DLC with Ruby Amethyst. So I'm unsurprised that that's what he was playing. But I was surprised it made top 8.
Yeah, considering that a lot of the workings for Ruby Amethyst have like
You're doing so good. Okay, so before we went live, and right when Chelsea got here, she's like, I am not going to just say the color names. I'm going to say the right ink names. And I was like, it's really okay if you don't. If you mess it up, it's not a big deal. And I love the hesitation there of shit.
I'm working really hard.
I know. It's okay though.
I need you to have me back on it.
I think this is technically your second time on.
It is.
So you're doing okay.
I'm doing better. Ruby Amethyst.
Yes. It was like an interesting build. I don't have it pulled up to like go over just because we had so many events. But the nice thing about both events at Lone Star is the deck list for the entire tournament. So all for Saturday, it was 78 players, is on Inkdex. So you can go out there and check out the list if you want to take a look at a list that managed to top 8 a little unexpectedly. So the deck that won on Saturday was this Emerald Amber deck. Chroma Dog, I think is what, or Chromosomes. There we go. That's what they called this deck.
Chromosomes.
I think this deck is very interesting. We'll talk about another version of this a little later as well. And I'm interested to try to play one or a combination of this. I think it's a fun deck to play. I think it requires a lot of skill to pilot.
I can't say yes or no because I've been playing Amber Emerald since I started playing Lorcana as a fun deck. I haven't played it competitively because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
But how this deck is, like with the ladies and the tramps all coming out, along with the Lilos, that has helped this deck a lot. So I'm really, this is like my favorite. I'm all for this deck.
And I think you asked a really good question. We were like kind of analyzing this deck in one of our chats to like understand some of the play lines. What card was that around again?
So it was around Chromacon and then with the Bobby Lilos. So it would basically, like we were saying, because I was wondering why you would have Bobby. And obviously you need Bobby so you can put down in case you have a Lilo in hand. If you have a Lilo in hand, you can draw a card and immediately discard that Lilo that you're planning on playing.
Yeah.
And then the Chromacon, I think we talked about Chromaconing Go-Go. That way you can bounce her back to your hand if a character gets banished. Like if Lilo gets banished, you can bounce Go-Go back to your hand. Play her, use 2 ink if they have damage.
Yeah. And then I think the other piece was just how nice the Emerald Chromacon works in with Lilo, because I wasn't even thinking about that with this deck is, when a person keeps playing Lilo out, like you're trying to get rid of it every time. But once you have that Chromacon out, you then have to worry about, okay, I need to take this out so that my opponent doesn't keep questing. But also now I have to be worried that I'm going to lose my board presence. And you start to struggle in this matchup.
I did it. I played around with it last night. My boyfriend, Ricky, he came over and he played his Amber Steel, and then I let him play my Purple Steel to try and get a feel for how I like this build. And at one point I had the Chromacon out and I would just do this. And I was like, okay, bounce back the characters that you're going to get the more slow lore from to give me an extra turn. And that's what I think will help definitely with the Amethyst, Sapphire, any Amethyst or any Sapphire decks.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I think another thing that I've seen a little bit in, oh no, it's not in this build. It's in the Emerald Sapphire build that I've been seeing our good friend Ink Geyser pop up again.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's rude. It's a little rude. And then, so that was Saturday. For Sunday's event, very similar meta breakdown for the full tournament. This was a 53 player event. The top 8 for this event was a lot more standardized than what we've seen in the meta, I feel like, recently. So there were 4 Amethyst Sapphire decks, 2 Amber Steel, and 2 Emerald Sapphire. So I think we got much closer to like the norm. I feel like it was less spicy. And the deck that took it on Sunday was this very rude deck. As I like to say, I think it's pretty rude, but it's
Any
also
deck with Hades is
really fun to play. So this Emerald Sapphire deck is looking to be able to Under the Sea, Heads Held High, and just bounce things back to your hand. It is very rough to play against this deck, and I played against it last night. It's mean. It makes
yes.
You know, you are not wrong. I played against it last night, and I was trying to figure out. I was playing. Yes, it did. Yeah, it absolutely did top on Saturday as well. I was playing Amethyst Sapphire against this last night at League, and I just cannot figure out. And now, granted, like last night was the first time. I haven't been playing a ton of Amethyst Sapphire, but trying to figure out like how, like what the play line is to beat this, because I think that this is a very good counter to the Sapphire Amethyst deck. I don't really know how you win against this deck. I was going first. I lost.
You just have to get as many characters out on board.
The game. So I went to 3 games for this matchup, and the game that I was able to take, I was able to control their board and be able to basically stop their Clarabelle shifts, and get Clarabelle out of the way pretty quickly, and basically just answer everything on their board almost instantly. And I think if you aren't able to do that, it's very hard to beat this deck.
It is. Once those bigger bodies get out, it becomes...
Yeah, it's also hard because where typically in the Amethyst Sapphire, you're using Hades to get rid of characters. In this matchup, Hades or even Into the Unknown, you don't want to give them more ink, because the minute the way once they get more ink, it just really becomes a struggle, in the sense that not only can they sing their Head Held High and Under the Sea at the with ink and maybe one character, it just, then you've given them the answer to your board, and that feels real bad. Yeah. And these 5/5 and 5/4 or 5/6 bodies are rough. They're rough to handle.
I've been preferring, whenever I'm playing Amethyst Steel, I've been trying, if I have like 3 or 4 1-drops in hand and I have a 2-drop in hand, I've been playing more like trying to get all my 1-drops out, just because have that board state.
Yeah,
because they gotta take them out.
I would agree with that. So this deck is really good. It struggles into some of the more aggro builds, but obviously with Head Held, if they have their shift targets, they can use Head Held High and Under the Sea to clear the aggro board.
Oh, I don't like that card.
You just realized what it did?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it played
yet. Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar with Heads Held High, it's a sing together card, and you can you can remove damage from your own characters, but then you also the line of text is all opposing characters get -3 strength. So all of a sudden, everything that you thought was going to survive under the sea does not.
It's also interesting because that can be used. You don't even have to target vanish characters because it's already doing the whole opponent's board. Mm-hmm. So that's...
Yep. It's rough. So this is a really good deck. I anticipate seeing more of it, particularly if you have a heavy sapphire amethyst meta in your area. This is also a great deck list if you don't have Dumbos. Because this is no amethyst. So
I'm all for no Dumbo.
I was just sad because I realized, and I'm gonna get eye roll here in a minute. And if Bree was listening, she'd also eye roll at me too. I was very sad. I went to go build this deck, and I realized I thought I had 4 enchanted Clarabelles, and I only have 3.
How did I know it was going to be something bougie?
I only have 3, and I'm very sad about it.
You know how many Clarabelles I have? In general, I have no legendary.
Oh, well, if you want to play this deck, you can borrow mine. You know that.
A different rendition I've seen of it is also having Mothers Know Best. Mother knows best.
So I've seen that in this deck, and I've also seen Ink Geyser, which Ink Geyser is rough.
I do like the Donald Ducks, though, because it gives me card draw. So that's one thing.
Yeah. It does, but let me tell you, it doesn't.
If I'm searching for a card that I need,
I know it still feels bad when they have Clarabelle out, though. Yeah. And then the other big tournament this weekend, which trying to find, there it is. Did I have guess I didn't have notes on this slide. Let's see if I can pull up. Boop. Hold on. We'll get there. I swear. I'm going to regret that choice in a second. There we go. I'll find it now. Aha! Just trying to find the list. So this event was...
the Fabled.
Yeah. So this had 109 players at it. I don't have a meta breakdown for it. It was not ink deck, sadly. But this was the list that took it. Pretty standard amber, steel, aggro list. I'm looking at it to see. There really, I don't think, is much spice in this.
No, I'm not really seeing.
But I mean, that's not to discount this deck at all. Like I was just curious.
It's more of what you're seeing in every
build, which is interesting. I'm always interested when we get to a point on a deck that I don't see like the couple cards that are like spice for that that build. So I think that's interesting. I think if anything, the one thing that's a little different than what I've been seeing are the Lilos. I don't know if I've seen a ton of Lilos in this build before, but I think it makes perfect sense because it's a great card if you have a dock and Lilo in hand. It doesn't feel bad to have to like discard your Lilo if you don't have enough to play both. So
works well with Mulan.
Yeah, works well with Mulan. Yeah, this deck is just, it's good or it's real bad, which is typical for aggro. Yeah. But
the starting out is great. It's lasting through to get that last bit.
Yeah. And I think like I enjoy this deck. I think I might play it a little bit more, but
I do love playing against it.
Yeah, you do. I hate playing.
It's fun.
Your deck is good against this build. I think if anything, the only thing that stops you is really the Tianas.
Tianas, yeah. It's
so for those that don't play weeklies with us all the time, Chelsea plays Amethyst Steel. And that's it.
Yeah. I played Amber Emerald like as a fun deck, but now that it's becoming bigger, it might be seen more at League. But my main deck is Amethyst Steel.
So and your deck is like a little bit spicy in comparison to like the standard meta decks. So you're not running any Dumbos in it, which I agree with. I have that unpopular opinion. Dumbo is an amazing card, and I think it's amazing in other decks. I just don't think it belongs in that deck.
We also have different play styles than the people that are playing.
Yes, that's very accurate. But I also am really hoping with the next set that we get some bounce back.
I need some bounce. I need more removal.
That too. I think everybody wants more removal. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Then we hop over to some CCQs over in Europe. The first one was in Stockholm, and the deck that took it was the Steel Amethyst, which we love to see, even if this one has Dumbos. But it does have Yzmas, and I really like Yzmas as well. I think the one card in here that I think is really interesting is going to be the Madame Mim, I joke, skateboarder, because I think she looks like a skateboarder.
That's what I see.
Yeah. I think that's the main card I see in here that's like a little bit different, along with Yzmas. I feel like basically once everybody got Dumbos, they took Yzmas out. But I think it's a good card. I like this build.
I think she is too. Because I mean, if you have one card in hand or 0 cards, she gives you 3, whereas Dumbo just gives you one.
Yeah.
And you can exert your other evasives, but I feel like the bigger bodies evasive should be used to attack.
Yeah. And I think the other nice thing about Yzma is she's I refer to them as like a distraction target, because the card draw, your opponent's going to want to get that off your board, and now you have one less removal action or song that can target Dumbo. So I think that that's another important feature of Yzma. At least with my play style, I'm very big on like sometimes having a card that maybe, I don't know, I feel like somebody would question why it's in the deck. And I'm like, you see, it's a problem and they have to answer it. And now that's one less answer for some of these other cards that I really need to stay on the board.
And that's why I'm working with Pinocchio and Bambi in my deck right now.
Which is, I can tell you, they're a problem that need to be handled and sometimes are a pain in the butt.
Ricky played my Amethyst Steel last night, and he got, we were like almost tied. I needed 1 lore and he needed just like 1 more lore. He had almost game on board. And because I bounced back, I played a character, it bounced back that Bambi. So it immediately had game.
Yeah. And then just highlighting good friend of Enchanted Chatter, TFM, Melissa, made top 32 at this event with this delightful Amber Emerald deck. So this one's a little bit different than the one we featured earlier. I think both are really good builds. I'm interested to see, I think the one thing, Chelsea and I have talked about this a lot this week. I feel like I like seeing like the variations in cards that people play in like quote unquote the same deck, because I think it shows their play styles. And I think that can be like very important to winning with a deck, even if like maybe another person doesn't think it's the best card to have in like the build. It might work in your brain and make everything else work. So I like getting to like hear about the breakdown of why. And if anyone's interested, I know that Melissa posted a breakdown on the TFM Metafy. So definitely go out there if this is a deck you're interested in. I'd highly recommend it.
I do like her build a little bit more just because I am partial to the 3 cost ladies that are inkable that lets you play a character for free. Because that could also help with your lady, your 1-drop lady that gets the +1
strength.
Yeah, the +1 strength. I played the other version yesterday and had, except for 1 inkable, all of my hand was uninkable, and I just kept drawing into uninkables.
No.
And I would have had a terrible time if I was doing such hands. So I like that this one, I think, has more inkables in it.
Yeah.
There's 2 less Chromicons. Under the Seas are the same.
No, that's definitely a fair
that is
statement.
one thing I would be worried about with the Amber Emerald, is getting a whole hand of uninkables.
Yeah. That's mean. Then there was this event in France. It was 270 players, and it was another CCQ. A good old Blurple deck. Both. So this event in France, and then this event, which was another CCQ in Great Britain. They're both Blurple decks. Before the show, I was like trying to go back and forth and like compare the differences. They're very slight changes. We see with this one, they have 2 Monstros, 1 Elsa, and then this one is... It has the Ursula. That's the big difference. This Ursula is cool. It helps exert your opponent's cards. So I think it's a cool tech card. Be interesting to see if this becomes more of a card in the build in the future.
That would make our friend happy.
It would make Randall happy.
The Elsa though, the big Elsa, that is
great. Let me tell you, I play a big Elsa in my build.
Against.
You know, sometimes it is. So there have been, I was actually looking at that. Hold on. Kirby asked a great question. How many US CCQs have there been? So I'm going to pull the list back up, and because I was looking at it earlier before the episode. We'll hide that for a hot minute. So you can see our lovely faces. It is under play. Okay, so as I go to the wrong place, organized play. So far for the US, we've had 1 CCQ completed. That was Pro Play Summit Denver. There are 4 announced CCQs upcoming. So there's 1 next weekend in Utah, and then 1 at the end of the month in Tacoma, Washington. 1 later in November in Vegas, and then the newest one that was just announced was Charlie's Collectible in December, which I'm not bitter about the fact that the price went up on that at all. I think that's silly, and that's That's my 2 cents on that. I think it's silly that they upped the cost. 75 was already a lot for that event, and now it's 100, and that's a lot. The Charlie's collectible shows, like events I've heard are fantastic, but I just feel obligated to give my true opinion on that one. And then for Kirby, I hope so. So Kirby said, don't forget TCI in 2026. I hope. How many? We'll get to that. We have we do plan on covering the Lorecast, which they talked about that a bit. But then in Europe, there have been a ton of CCQs that have both happened and were announced. So 3 were this past weekend. It was France, Sweden, and the UK. And then there are 7 more that have been announced that haven't happened. So
there's 6 all in just 1 month. 7.
Yeah. So to take a step back, I think if I remember correctly, it's like there are 32 or 36, I don't remember which, spots at Continentals in both North America and Europe for CCQ spots. Each of the CCQs that have been announced so far in both Europe and in North America have only equated to 1 spot. There haven't been any tournaments that have gotten to my knowledge. So it's always the person who wins the event gets the seat. I will be interested because obviously now in Europe they have 10 events announced. I would expect they might slow down a little because otherwise they're not going to have them spaced out a ton.
Mm-mm. They have 2 on the same weekend.
Well, I mean, like this past weekend, they had 3 in the same weekend. And then November, they have another weekend where they have 2. Actually, they have 2 weekends where they have 2 following the same weekend. So it'll be interesting how they think through. And I would even guess that we would see them reanalyze this process for the next DLC season. So I guess like end of 2026 and 2027, because I think that they'll, at least how that's looking in Europe, they'll want to space these out a little bit more and make sure they're not on competing weekends.
Give us more over here.
Well, I mean, they have to. They will, because there are still 32 or 36 spots, and we only have 5
feel like
so far.
them putting multiples in each weekend, because what if somebody wanted to try? Yeah. I feel like putting a lot on the same weekends should be spaced out.
Yeah. So definitely lots of events.
But it's good to see more events.
Yeah. It is really nice going from no events to there are so many events this weekend. We have now spent, 30 minutes just talking about only the top decks from the events. But speaking of upcoming events, we have our first DLC next weekend in Bologna. I feel like there are quite a few people traveling from the US to this event. If anyone hasn't checked out Rebecca Quest's Instagram, so she is one of the hosts for all of the DLCs, and she posted sort of her travel adventures of getting from the US over to Italy, and she had a couple flight delays. So it was a long flight day. I give her lots of credit. I would be exhausted.
I would be losing my mind.
And then obviously later, yes, 22. Yeah, it was 22 hours it took her. And then we have Milwaukee, obviously later this month. And then these are the CCQs that are upcoming. Obviously, we've had one, the Pro Play in Denver. So funny enough, I will actually be in Washington near Tacoma for the weekend of Halloween, but I am not going to be able to go to this event. I'm trying to figure out, I think I might try to just go and pop in and see how everybody's doing at the event, because obviously I'm not normally on the West Coast, but it'd be fun. But I get to, most of my time will be getting some baby snuggles from my brand new nephew. And those are much more important than Lorcana. Yeah, I'm not sharing. Yes, the Sharp Gaming event is the following weekend. It is, I think that's like the 7th and 8th. Somebody will correct me. And I'm sad I won't be able to attend that one this time around because I have family in town. Yeah, 8th and 9th. I was close. But that event should be a blast. And I definitely will pull up the flyer for that and get that on the show for the next event. Or next event. The next show. I'll have it so we can promote it.
Next week.
Yeah. One of those things. It's been a week, guys.
Still got 2 more days.
Shh. Don't remind me. And then this weekend is Set Champs. And I really need this playmat and a playset of these dragons.
They need to go back to 2 playmats.
They do need to go back to 2 mats. I agree. Yes. Yeah. We all need this playmat. This playmat is gorgeous. I think that this is I don't want to say besides Stitch because I'm not a huge Stitch fan. I know that's like I'm anti-Disney or something.
I'm not either.
Stitch is great. It just was never.
I'm burnt out on Stitch.
We've had too much Stitch. I think this playmat and maybe Jafar have been my 2 favorites so far.
I like the Scar one.
The Scar one was also really good.
Was pretty.
Apparently, I just like the villain playmats.
I like the challenge Rapunzel.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's fair. I also like the Cinderella mat. All right, I just need a lot of mats, which I already have too many. The closet's closed. You can't see them right now.
Oh no, I was looking because I know you have a Cricut, and I was thinking to myself, why haven't you foiled any of your mats?
I don't know if I have the patience for that. Oh. The Tink mat is also I love the Tinkerbell mat as well.
Giant fairy artwork, both enchanted and non-enchanted, are really pretty.
So I know it was essentially the question of the day, and I will pull it back up. So we'll hide this for a hot minute because it's just the playmat and cards. What deck do we think we're taking to Set Champs? And maybe like what deck is going to be a little spicy this time around at Set Champs? Because I feel like Set Champs, you always get like the really random spicy deck that comes in and somehow takes the entire set. I
will probably play my Amethyst Steel.
We're shocked. We're shocked here on Enchanted Chatter. This is breaking news.
Pillow headline. But I might be trying out my Amber Emerald at leagues to see how that will go. I need to play against you and Randall's decks to know how it does. How it odd.
Mm-hmm. With odd.
Not odd, but y'all play different stuff.
It's true.
And I get your play styles more.
That's fair. Or even if we play like the meta decks against you, I feel like we are really good at testing together. I still, which is problematic on two sides. So I have only 2 weekends that I can play set champs.
I have one.
I haven't decided what I'm going to play. And then on top of that, I also need to decide what I'm taking to DLC Milwaukee, which is more concerning for me that I haven't figured that. Like I have
practicing different decks to try and figure it out.
And I am traveling for work twice this month, and going to be gone and missing league for those weeks.
Who abandoned who?
Payback, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need to figure that out. Then the 1 week that like I'm traveling that kind of stresses me out is I travel for work the first half of the week before DLC Milwaukee. So I'm gone Monday through Wednesday, and I come home Wednesday, and then I pack and I leave Thursday after work to go to Milwaukee.
Just take the Thursday off.
No, I can't. It's busy season at work. So it'll be eventful. That's for sure.
Because you were going to an event.
All right. We're sending Chelsea away. She's been...
I'm comedic relief. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
You are correct. You are. So yeah, that's events. But I guess we also can talk, if anyone has any, we can talk about the Lorecast, because I feel like we got some pretty big news on the Lorecast last week. So, I like how you're like, I didn't watch it.
I work, so
you gotta. Rude. I work too.
I work in an office.
Yeah,
I don't work from home.
I work from home, so it's on my lunch. It falls right on my lunch, which is nice. And even if it doesn't, I can watch it on a computer. Like it can be up in the background. But so there were some big announcements around judge programs,
which we
like extended, not even just like judge programs, but like extended, I don't know the best way to describe it, like event staffing as well, because essentially it sounds like they're also going to be having like badge system and testing systems for both judges at multiple difficulty levels with different policies and rule focuses. And then for the badge system, that will be like specialized areas. They mentioned like cheating detection, policy, and like generalist roles were some of the things that they...
Cheating detection? Like you go to... Okay.
I don't... Okay. I'm just telling... Yeah, I'm just regurgitating what happened and what they said. That those were the examples that they gave. But I'm excited for this. I think that this is something that the community has been asking for a while. And I think it's good that they're releasing this. They brought up the core document. So it's core operational rules and enforcement. And it's going to be a 4 to 5 page document. And it essentially is like an entry-level tournament rules operation guide that will be updated every set. And I think like that's kind of a cool document that I think is going to fill some gaps as well. So good to see that. I think that in general, this whole announcement was very well received and something that I feel like the community was asking for.
Yeah.
I know I'm excited for the judge tests. I might take them for my own sanity and making sure that like I know the rules. I don't think I ever should be a judge. I have so much respect for judges. It's just not, I don't think it's a role for me. But I think I'd like to feel more comfortable with the rules, like being, this is your first TCG, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I a lot of the times I will ask questions to my, like, some of our friends that are much more seasoned in TCGs and ask them to explain how a rule works. So I think from like a personal level, depending on like how they are doing the testing system, I would love to take the test and like get quote unquote qualified because I feel like it would just help playing as well, feeling like I understand the rules holistically.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it either. I also don't mind if I ever had to be a judge for anything, because I mean you're still helping out.
So yeah, absolutely. I don't think I understand and know the rules enough to be a judge. I mean, clearly I understand them enough to play. Yeah, exactly. I'm just a baby. I'm not meant for that. I have mad respect for all of my friends that judge. We're working on, Brie and I are working to get some of the judges in the community to join us on stream. Obviously, with all of the tournaments going on right now, it's very busy for them, and with travel. So hopefully, we're hoping to figure out like a cadence to have them on the show and do like little, not only just segments featuring them and featuring all that they do for the community, but like also ways to help everybody. And like on Discord, there's a really great judge Discord channel and group, and they do different like judge questions every week, I think is the way they do the cadence. And I think something similar to that would be fun to have on the show every once in a while, to help new players and seasoned players. So yeah. And then the other big thing that came out of the Lorecast was promo clarifications for the DLCs. So there was a bunch of confusion and change based on the increase of players, how the Mulan promo would work. So the Mulan promo, they confirmed, is you are required to win 3 matches in the main event, and that will get you a Mulan promo, and you will then play day 2.
So bad.
I like that. That's essentially a decrease from what it initially was announced as. And I think that I'll be interested to see, because I also know that they're putting some ticket value on playing in the main event, like they did last season after Atlanta, to make sure people stayed in the main event and didn't just flock to on-demand or side events. So it'll be interesting to see with this lower participation promo. So Mulan is a win promo. It's not, the promo you get for participation is Pegasus. Mulan, you have to win 3 matches. I don't know what, like, they haven't announced what the ticket situation is going to be. They mentioned on the Lorecast that it may be just like a set, you get X amount of tickets for being in the event, which I think will be interesting. I don't know.
I didn't play.
Yeah, I didn't
get to do DLCs last season.
So like last season, the way the tickets worked in the main event is it was tiered. So essentially, depending on the points you earned, which equated to wins in the tournament, you got, X amount of tickets. It sounded like they may be shifting away from that, and it would be just like a set amount of tickets no matter where you place or where, like, how many matches you win. And I don't hate that. I just don't know. The whole point of that tiered system was to keep people playing, and I'm not sure if you just get like a lump sum of tickets, if that will keep people playing.
Yeah. Because you want them to have that drive to keep playing.
Exactly. So I think that'll be interesting to see how that works, and if they adjust after Milwaukee, who's based on points. Yeah. So yeah, and then they announced they announced a couple European CCQs on the Lorecast, and then announced the Charlie's Collectible. It will have 512 slots. The tickets are live. They're through PlayHub. And once again, I was a little salty because the price went up. I shouldn't focus on that as much, but it really just...
Oh, that's how it was when I went to QuakeCon and they raised their prices this year. I was all over that in their Discord. I was upset. So I understand when places raise their ticket prices.
What do we think that honestly, I don't know.
A kidney. A kidney and a Diet Coke. I'll say that for y'all.
I don't really know what triggered the increase in price for the CCQ at Charlie's Collectible, and that was kind of where my frustration stemmed from. Obviously, the new pricing is the first slot gets qualified for nationals, but dollar value for the event, nothing has changed.
Did they add more slots? More people?
No. It's always been,
like, let's slap that CCQ on it.
Surcharge. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of a bummer. I think $75 is already a pretty high entry point, and now obviously this event has a big return if you do well. It is a 25K, I think. I could be totally... It's somewhere up there. Like the Charlie Collectible events, if you do well, like you make a pretty penny. But jumping from that 75 to 100, something about that just... It ain't there.
I've been many to cosplay conventions, so I understand price increases, and that, like, a bunch of people stopped going after they kept raising prices. They don't change venue, when they don't change capacity,
mm-hmm.
and they just add something else to it when it's all still the same thing.
Yeah. And then the other thing they kind of touched on during the Lorecast was PlayHub. Now, granted, I feel like this week they didn't touch a ton on it. They did last week, more the week prior. They seem to have faith that the kinks are being worked out and everything's going to go well this weekend at the DLC on the platform. I hope so. I feel like with every event, they have been fixing things. They've been working to improve it. So I think it'll probably be all hands on deck this weekend to make sure it runs smoothly. And I think if it doesn't, I think the community is going to be pretty disappointed, because I feel like everybody in the community has been pretty vocal about
the issues,
giving feedback in the official Discord, and I think being patient too. Well, like I would give some credit to the community that patience has been given to work kinks out. But at some of the bigger events that it's been required to be used, seeing it crash and seeing it lose a round,
it needs to be able to keep up with the events it was made for.
It's hard to, I guess, be gracious in those scenarios, because you're during weekly leagues and set champs, this kind of should have been figured out.
Yeah. I just want it to quit logging me out.
It's the little things. We just don't want to log in 20 times.
It should just be an easy fix. I join event, it logs me out, sends me back to the home page.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Lorecast was pretty good. Sometimes I feel like we don't get much updates. It's a little bit of a fluffy Lorecast week. This week I felt like this was heavy and felt like they were getting information out to the community, which was nice. Yeah. Now I need to figure out what to play for set champs.
Just play Sapphire Emerald.
I love the defeated sigh with that.
It's a good, as a deck, like even playing against it, like it can be hard. I like it more than Amethyst Sapphire. I like the play style of how it plays. I like Emerald Sapphire.
Yeah, I think I lean more towards it because like I have fun playing it. I know it's not fun to have played against you, but I think it's a fun deck to play.
It's a fun deck. Like playing against it, it's fun. It sucks playing against it. Especially if I played, I remember my first set champs I played against Randall, and he played that deck before rotation.
That hurt your soul a little.
I already knew I was going to lose.
So it was very funny. Randall is one of our friends. He is a delightful human. We play locals together, so like he knows Chelsea, but it was whenever I was still getting to know y'all. Yeah, and you still hadn't been playing super long, and he just kept going, I'm sorry. Are you having fun? I'm sorry. Are you like...
I saw the match at Randall. I was like, oh. He was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I just know what's going to happen. I was like already ready. Just like submit.
I agree with this. From this random person that we absolutely don't know. Even though he has 20 names. I agree. Like the creativity with the new meta and seeing like different builds. I know people were like very hesitant about this meta, but I think it's been fun.
I do like it because it's not, everybody is not trying to play like Amethyst Steel doesn't have this specific deck list that everyone is trying to play off of.
Yeah.
It's everyone trying to put in what card works best for them.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see like the different combos that people just come up with. Like, oh, this. It's not as complicated as Ruby Sapphire.
Ain't nobody got time for that. It's in the dungeon. It can stay there for a little longer. It had its time. Let it say, as I like to say, it's in the vault now. Mm-hmm. It's in the Disney vault.
So infinity comes around.
Yep. So I think that's all I had for today. Did I forget anything?
I don't know. I don't do this every week.
Chelsea, like, you're on your own. If you forgot something, you are SOL. I can't help you.
I'll talk about video games. That's all I got for you.
Thanks for joining me this week. I am very appreciative to not be left alone.
Also came over to see the dogs.
Yeah, so. That's fair. The dogs were very excited to see you too. Thank you. I will take that as we went through our list well.
We did.
So yeah, if you haven't liked and followed and subscribed on all the platforms, please do. It's very helpful. And yeah, Chelsea will probably be back. You'll probably see her around.
I'm on I've been getting a little bit better on Instagram. It's CHELZ_RENE.
We'll update.
Write it.
We'll update our show notes to include that. And until next week, we will see you around. Bye.
Bye-bye.